Hey, good morning. I didn't see you standing there. Hey, you may wonder where I'm off to so early on a Friday morning, but we are on our way to the Hummingbird Festival at the Woodland Nature Station in Land Between the Lakes. Hey, I got a good idea. Why don't you guys come and join us? Come on.
Outdoor Focus is presented courtesy of these fine sponsors. Hooper's Outdoor Center, Paducah's #1 source for outdoor gear. The Camera Shop, featuring Canon cameras. Paducah Shooter Supply, featuring a complete gun shop, archery shop, and indoor archery range. Richard's Recreation Specialties, featuring Bombardier, the ATV that's tough enough to take you there and back. Shelby's Wheel and Tire, ride with confidence. And by Lodi Kennels, featuring retriever training, all breed obedience training, and boarding for dogs and cats.
At Shelby's Wheel and Tire, ride with confidence. What we say you can believe when we put you back on the street with confidence. Everybody knows it's true. With confidence, we do more for you. At Shelby's Wheel and Tire, ride with confidence.
We're here in Land Between the Lakes at the Woodland Nature Station, less than an hour's drive from Paducah. We've arrived for the annual Hummingbird Festival, where the public is educated about hummingbirds and where these tiny birds are banded in order to learn more about their habits, and where you are given the opportunity to sponsor the banding and release of a hummingbird. But first, my wife and I have signed up for an informative seminar to discuss how we can do our part in learning more about this fascinating bird. There are 319 species of hummingbirds, which are all found in the Western Hemisphere. In the United States, 17 species can be found regularly, but only 8 species are found far from the Mexican border. This is the 8th annual Hummingbird Festival here at Woodland Nature Station in Land Between the Lakes. Last year, there were close to 200 hummingbirds banded. This year at the 8th Annual Hummingbird Festival, the emphasis is more on the education of banding hummingbirds as opposed to the sheer numbers of how many hummingbirds can be banded in one single weekend. Hummingbirds spend the summer here in the United States of America, but in the fall they migrate to the rainforests of Mexico. The average weight of a ruby-throat hummingbird is 3 to 7 grams. With the females weighing primarily 25% more than the males.
Baby hummingbirds cannot fly.
All right, so it's a juvenile.
A bird is fully grown whenever, a hummingbird is fully grown when it leaves the nest.
It's a teenager.
So if you see a baby hummingbird, in your feeder, it's actually a bumblebee. All right, baby hummingbirds can't fly, so don't use that term. Use nestling. Or fledgling. A fledgling is a bird that's just left the nest. And then that fledgling is also a juvenile, and on January 1 it becomes an adult.
Oh, okay.
Just like racehorses. Okay. Since we're in Kentucky, that's appropriate to talk about. All right. So this must be a female, right? Wrong. Because not only do adult females have white throats, so do young females have white throats, and so do young males have white throats. Females of any age and juvenile males have white throats. So males are masquerading as females. Young males are masquerading as females. Curiously, if you look at the tips of the tail feathers, they are white in females. Okay? Also in young males. So young males have a complete masquerade. Not only is their throat white, like the female, I'll give you a chance in a minute, so is the tip of the tail white, like in a female. So you might say, well, what are they, cross-dressers or what? No. In hummingbirds, you've seen what an adult male will do to another adult male. They're very aggressive, very territorial, and they get into real dogfights. Adult males don't respond to females that way. They don't chase them nearly as hard. And so if a young male can look like a female, that means he can slip into the feeder, maybe feed for 5 extra seconds before the adult male realizes it's an imposter, and then he chases him away. But if he can do that extra 5 seconds 50 times a day at the feeders or at the flowers, that's all that extra time he's buying time for when he can build his strength and become a better flyer and get stronger. You know, so the difference between survival and death in a young male ruby throat might be whether or not he can fool the adult male long enough to feed. Does that make sense? Okay, so it has nothing to do with an alternative lifestyle. It has to do with the fact that it's a survival thing. Okay, that's the logic the scientists have given. And by the way, I've got a little drop of hummingbird urine on my hand right here. It was on that finger, I used that finger. And curiously, when hummingbirds urinate, they don't make whitewash like, oh, this is great, look what happened. This is great. They don't make whitewash like other birds do. They have very efficient systems. But sometimes in the middle of the drop of urine, you'll see a little bit of black matter. You see it on my fingertip? Well, that can't be sugar water or nectar, can it? So what is it? What is it?
Insect.
Okay, it's insects. Nobody said the bad word. Nobody said bugs. Okay. Bugs is not the right answer because it could be insects or it could be little tiny spiders or other little invertebrates. So this is the result of insects, or this is the exoskeleton of insects or spiders. And when you think about it, that makes a lot of sense. You can't raise little guys like that into be big guys by feeding them Cokes and Pepsis. Okay? You can't build baby hummingbirds out of sugar water or nectar because that's what? Carbohydrate. And what does carbohydrate do? It burns off quickly. Okay? So you got to have fats and proteins.
Man, I thought I knew a lot about ruby throats. I didn't know near as much as I thought I did. I am so much more informed now about the ruby-throated hummingbird. That seminar was a wealth of information. We learned how to identify the birds, how to determine their sex and their age. Man, it's a lot trickier than I thought. You know, at first, I didn't realize how tricky it was, but you know what we learned? We learned that the male ruby throat, during the first year of its life, totally mimics the way a female looks. That increases its chances of survival so much more because the males aren't fending it off as much of the feeders because it thinks that it's a female. So much information I just couldn't imagine. But they taught us how to collect accurate data on the hummingbird counts and to really study their feeding habits. This data was so much more important than I thought. It's used by the Nature Station and other projects such as the Operation Ruby Throat. So I'm going to go rest my brain a little bit, and we'll be back in the morning to kick off the annual Hummingbird Festival, and we're going to show you a little bit more about this Operation Ruby Throat. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
Get your dog off to a good start with Lodi Kennels.
Lodi Kennels offers the best in gun dog training, obedience training, and boarding. If you're a hunter, a trained dog is a must, while obedience training makes your pet more of a family member by teaching you how to communicate with your pet. And when you're away from home, you can have the satisfaction of knowing you're boarding your pet in a healthy and beautiful environment. You can trust Lloyd and Sally Moore's 40 years of experience. The only thing you may have to worry about is your dog may never want to leave.
The Nature Photography Division of the Camera Shop introduces sporting dog photography.
This is Tim Batts, owner of the Camera Shop. We can photograph your pet in either our indoor or outdoor studio or even the comfort of your pet's home.
The Camera Shop's highly acclaimed animal photographs have been called warm, elegant, and captivating. The professionals at the Camera Shop understand that portraits of your pet are very personal and should be made to last. Contact the Camera Shop today to schedule a unique photo session for your sporting dog.
Here you go, boys. Here you go. Get the scent. Got the scent? Go find it, boys.
Introducing the award-winning Outlander Max. It can handle extra tough conditions and 1 or 2 riders, thanks to its exclusive convertible seat rack system.
I guess someone's got a long walk back. Guess so.
Don't get stuck with anything less. Bombardier ATV. Follow no one.
Hello, welcome back to Outdoor Focus. I'm Tim Batts. Hey, I'm here with Darren Samborski. How you doing, Darren?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Hey, this Hummingbird Festival is amazing. All these people. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, let's start by talking about the Woodland Nature Station. How long has the Nature Station been in Land Between the Lakes?
Nature Station has been here since the early 1960s, and the building has functioned as had a few different uses over the years, and it started as kind of a center station, people would remember it as early on, and then changed into the nature center that it is probably back in the 80s for the most part, and it's really the exhibits and a lot of the activities that have here have grown over the years, so we keep expanding that as the years go on. Yeah. So it's now Woodlands Nature Station, and kind of the home to a lot of activities to get people involved in their outdoor resources, just checking things out, starting here and maybe getting out and going out and seeing things in the field.
And your official title here is?
The title is Environmental Education Specialist, but I serve as a facility manager to help keep programs going, and I work with the staff on all the programs that are here. There's a good staff here that deliver programs. They have a lot of one-on-one contact with people, and that makes a big difference when folks are coming looking for information.
Yeah.
And
I have seen that. The staff is wonderful. I mean, you can't walk anywhere that there's not someone asking you, you know, if you want to see this or watch the animals being fed or see something going on. And they're all so friendly, and I've been fortunate to meet several of them. They're so nice.
It does make a big difference because we know people have a lot of questions about a lot of different things when they come up here, whether it's how to attract hummingbirds to my backyard or what was that snake I just saw out here. So we try to make sure we're available to answer those questions.
Oh, yeah, it's a great program. Well, we're here today obviously because of the Hummingbird Festival. Now tell me about how the Hummingbird Festival got started, or maybe when it got started.
Well, the hummingbirds, of course, they've been around for a long time, but we've been feeding hummingbirds in the backyard here, and it's become a pretty good pathway on their migration, especially in the summertime. In August, they're migrating south again. And people are fascinated with hummingbirds, it seems. I don't know anybody that isn't, for the most part. And really, they're kind of helping us act as a tool to get information out on how people can make their backyard a little bit greener or brighter, or to help a lot of things. So we figured people are interested in hummingbirds, so we have quite a few hummingbirds that are very easy to see here. And so we've kind of focused a day, or a weekend actually now, around all sorts of activities related to gardening for hummingbirds and habitat protection. And we're mixing in trying to get people to see how researchers work with hummingbirds and where that goes with. We're banding hummingbirds today. You can learn how to garden for hummingbirds. A lot of different activities that kind of get people connected with understanding that bird a little bit more and understanding habitats that they need.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of people here. I mean, on an average day in the summer, how many people might come through this place?
Might have 100 or 200 people on a day, on a good sunny day, especially during the summer. But this weekend, with the wonderful weather that we're having, we may see well over 1,200 people this weekend. So we're hoping a lot of people come out. It's fun. It's a fun time. And definitely the hummingbirds have shown up. So
I believe that. There's probably more than 1,200 hummingbirds here.
There's quite a few.
We could charge admission to them. We really make some money.
We're glad they're here. They're showing the things we're doing pretty good in this area for their habitat.
Oh yeah, there's tons of hummingbirds here. I can't believe how many. When you step through the doors out of the Welcome Center and walk into the beautiful yard, I mean, it's just, they're everywhere.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Well, we're just a short stopping point for them on their trip back down. They're going down to southern Mexico in that area, so they've got they've got to eat a lot and get their energy up to make long trips.
Yeah.
So that's where they're headed now.
I noticed all out of here in the yard, there's tents set up with different activities for people. I noticed, obviously, Mr. Hilton's over here banding hummingbirds. You can buy hummingbird merchandise and material, learn more about the plants that they like. Kids are painting pictures of hummingbirds, and I even heard you say something about you can make a hummingbird.
Build a Hummingbird is it's a program, and you know, hummingbirds have a lot of adaptations, and so do a lot of animals. And one easy way to take a look at why they have the things they have, why they have special feathers, why they are able to fly the way they are, is we take a person and we start dressing them up as a hummingbird, and we use different objects to show all the different adaptations. So it's a lot of fun. The kids have a good time with it, and it kind of relates things that may not be understandable to everybody, but we bring it down to an easier level to understand, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Darren Samborski, thank you so much,
Thanks
man.
a lot. I'm glad you guys came out.
Appreciate you taking time for us.
Appreciate it.
All right. I'm here with Bill Hilton Jr. How you doing, Bill?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So you are, what's your official title?
I'm principal investigator for Operation Ruby Throat, the Hummingbird Project.
Okay.
And that's a project I run out of Hilton Pond Center for Piedmont Natural History, the longest name for the smallest nature center in the world, over in York, South Carolina.
Okay, so, and your duties here this weekend are to educate people on the banding of ruby-throated hummingbirds.
Right, we've been doing some workshops on Operation Ruby Throat, and we're also banding today and tomorrow here at the Nature Center at Land Between the Lakes.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your nature center you have in South Carolina.
Well, it's pretty small, 11 acres, but we have the most active bird banding station in the Carolinas. Almost 45,000 birds banded there since 1982. And of those, about 3,000 have been ruby-throated hummingbirds. So we're doing a lot of bird banding work. We're learning about migration, longevity, site fidelity, particularly for ruby throats.
Yeah, and the primary interest people are coming here, you're pretty much the center of interest here this weekend. So tell me about what you're doing here for the Nature Station in Land Between the Lakes.
Okay, well, what we have is a portable trap that's activated by a remote mechanism. And when a hummingbird flies in to get the sugar water, I flip a switch and I catch the hummingbird. And we take it out very carefully, put a band on its leg, and the whole time I'm doing that, I'm instructing the audience in what the whole process is about, why we do it, how we do it, and so forth.
All right, so we're not interested in sheer numbers of how many hummingbirds we can band this weekend. It's just basically to educate the public in how it's done and why it's done.
Right. If we're interested in numbers, we could probably band 200 birds in one day. There are just lots of birds here. Right. But we'll probably do about 20 over the weekend because we're taking about a half an hour involving 20 or 30 people in each banding session and really teaching them what it's all about.
Okay. That's great. As you noticed by my t-shirt, our matching t-shirts here, I was here yesterday for your seminar, you know, I was telling my wife I thought I knew a little bit about ruby throats, but after your seminar yesterday, I realized how little I do know.
And we barely scratched the surface, so there's a lot more. And on my website, which is www.rubythroat.org, all that other information is there, so people can visit that, learn everything they need to know about hummingbirds.
So how long have you been banding hummingbirds?
Started banding hummers in 1984, and so I've banded them all over the United States, eastern United States, where they're native. I haven't done any banding in Canada yet, but this fall, after Christmas, we're planning on going to Costa Rica and actually do some banding down there, which has never been done in any numbers. So we're going to look for ruby throats that may be banded from the U.S. and Canada, but we're also going to be banding birds down there that are probably going to come back and be survivors and really make it through the U.S.
That seemed to be the big thing, was we have lots of record of the hummingbirds before migration, but not much of once they get south and come back.
There's never been a banded ruby-throated hummingbird found in Mexico or Central America, which is where they overwinter. So there's an opportunity through this, these field trips we're leading this winter to make some real important scientific discoveries about ruby throats.
Well, I've made a lot of important discoveries myself over the weekend, thanks to you, Bill Hilton Jr., man. I can't thank you enough for all you taught me this weekend, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being a good student.
Now, you guys check out the website, www.rubythroat.org. We'll give you the phone number, and you guys can learn more about ruby throats. As you can see, all of these hummingbirds are healthy as can be. But recently, my wife and I were called to take care of an injured hummingbird that was found in a garage. Let's see how that turned out. My wife and I recently had the opportunity to get up close and personal with one of our favorite birds, the ruby-throated hummingbird. Now, this little female ruby-throat found her way into a friend of ours' garage and got stuck on a sticky trap that's used to catch mice. With a lot of TLC, she was finally removed from the trap, but not without sacrificing her little tail feathers. She is still able to fly, but not able to navigate well without her tail feathers. We keep her in a small area to keep her close to her food, but now she has taken up residence on our screened-in back porch while she grows new feathers. She takes small expeditions around our porch as she is learning to move comfortably with her new style of flight. We placed a hummingbird feeder inside our screened-in porch so that she would have a place to feed as well as be safe from predators. We're hopeful for her survival, and we're glad to be a part of it. And we're glad you can be a part of it with us. We'll keep you posted on her progress. Don't go away. Outdoor Focus will be right back right after these messages. Why has Paducah Shooter Supply been in business for over 20 years? Because their product selection is right on target.
Their prices are right on target, and their service is right on target. No wonder you not only see new customers at Shooter Supply, you see the same customers coming back to Shooters year after year. Visit Shooter Supply and you'll agree, your choice of a sporting goods store is right on target. The next time you need hunting supplies, set your sights on Shooter Supply.
Here you go, boys. Here you go. Get the scent. Got the scent? Go find him, boys.
Introducing the award-winning Outlander Max. It can handle extra tough conditions and 1 or 2 riders, thanks to its exclusive convertible seat rack system.
I guess someone's got a long walk back. Guess so.
Don't get stuck with anything less. Bombardier ATV. Follow no one.
Why take your film to the camera shop for development?
Because you'll have professional photographers developing each of your prints. And for each roll of film you bring in, you have a chance at free developing.
Why go to the camera shop to buy a new camera?
Because at the camera shop, we have competitive pricing and we'll give you a free class on how to use your camera.
Why use the camera shop for photo enlargements?
Because you can decide what size you want your photos up to an amazing 24 by 30 at the camera shop.
Hi, I'm Craig Sims with Hooper's Outdoor Center. I'm here for our Hooper's Outdoor Tip. Today we're going to talk about safely drinking water in the outdoors. There are several different methods today that we can use to make water safe to drink. First thing we're going to look at is probably the most, or used to be the most commonly used. It is iodine tablets. And iodine tablets are really easy to use. You'll take one of these tablets and crumble it into a liter of water and wait about 20 minutes and you're ready to drink it. It does not do a whole lot for taste. It is not a real pleasant tasting thing, but it does make the water safe. What we sell more of this time at this stage of our Hooper's career is filters, and there's numerous different filters that you can use to make your water safe. This one is something that is kind of new, and it's basically a bike bottle or a water bottle that has a filter built down into it made of carbon. This is a great convenience thing if you're just going for a day hike or just going to be somewhere that the water might be a little questionable, like Mexico or anywhere in out of country if you're traveling. You can put water directly into this, and then it has a flip top with a spout. And when you drink that water, it is automatically filtered as it goes through into your mouth. So it's real simple and easy to use. Moving on to some of the better systems that are used for more longer duration or longer period in the outdoors are a filter made like this. This particular one is made by MSR, Mountain Safety Research. And it, instead of a carbon filter, is a ceramic filter, which gives you a lot more gallons of water that you can filter through it without having to reuse or really get a new filter or clean it. This one, which is one of the things that makes it neat, is it will fit perfectly onto a Nalgene bottle, which is a common water bottle that we cell here. It will screw directly into it like this. And then you can place this end down in your water source, which can be a stream or a lake. This has a little float on it, which you can set to the right depth. You put it down in the water and pump. This will fill this 2-liter bottle in about 90 seconds. It's a real quick, easy way to filter water and have it drinking water safe. This Nalgene will also screw directly onto a larger bladder for storing more water at a time. You also, if you ever need one, can buy replacement filters that will go directly into your filter and have it as good as new. I'm Craig Sims with Hooper's Outdoor Center, your guide to outdoor adventure. This has been your outdoor tip.
Welcome back to Outdoor Focus as we continue our coverage of the annual Hummingbird Festival right here at the Woodland Nature Station in Land Between the Lakes. You know, as I've watched these incredible hummingbirds, I can't help but be reminded of how God takes such specialized and individual care for each one of us. Each species of birds requires different and unique care. Isn't it wonderful to know that even as God cares for these birds, He cares even more for us? You know, in the book of Matthew, the Bible tells us that the birds of the air do not worry about the source of their food. They do not sow or reap. And what's even more wonderful is that the Bible tells us that we are regarded even more highly by God than the birds. So how much better will He take care of us? The Bible says, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has enough worries on its own. So remember, when you find yourself worrying, our Savior takes care of the birds of the air, and He can take perfectly good care of us.
Outdoor Focus is presented courtesy of these fine sponsors. Hooper's Outdoor Center, Paducah's #1 source for outdoor gear. The Camera Shop, featuring Canon cameras. Paducah Shooter Supply, featuring a complete gun shop, archery shop, and indoor archery range. Richard's Recreation Specialties, featuring Bombardier, the ATV that's tough enough to take you there and back. Shelby's Wheel and Tire, ride with confidence. And by Lodi Kennels, featuring retriever training, all breed obedience training, and boarding for dogs and cats.